I've never been invited on Fox since I told Sean Hannity in the commercial break I thought what he just said was outright bigotry.
So, I mean, we're in the middle of this unbelievably shitstorm over this Obama piece. I mean, what's it been like for you in the middle of all of this?
It's been like the old English crossbows, but as flying turds to begin with. But at the same time, actually, after the first stuff, people are actually talking about the piece and making the argument. And I think the reason there's been all this fuss, especially on Fox being crazy, is because I do think it makes a good case. And I think it's a case that they haven't made, right? And it upsets people.
Well, the irony is that you have been able to make the case for Obama that Obama people cannot make for him. I mean, that's what's so incredible, is that when, I mean, I found the facts that you marshaled very persuasive. I mean, I have been bitterly disappointed with Obama, but at the end of reading your piece, I was just amazed at the amount of persuasion that you marshaled to the other side, which they have never been able to do.
I know, I've been following him for a long time, you know, and that's what they said actually, you know, 7 with this piece I did about him, that they hadn't been able to formulate who Obama was until I helped provide the template. One of the great things about being a writer who's independent, you know, and isn't reporting as such to the White House. I mean, I check in and make sure I'm not missing something important, but it enables me to sort of be a sort of independent outside critic that can help sometimes. Say, why the hell aren't you pointing out these facts? I mean, these and I think here's what happened, Tina. I've live blogged 16 Republican debates for 2 hours. That's 32 hours of listening to Rick Santorum. After that, I wanted to scream. This is none of this happened.
Yeah, right.
You're all wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are just lies and or misunderstandings. And so, as you know, I sat down with you before Christmas and just was like, bloody well, one of these days I'm going to let rip on this.
I know, it was a wonderful time, but also it's appearing, of course, just at the time when it's so clear now that Romney is a very weak candidate. A very, very weak candidate. And I think this tax stuff, and I think that all of this kind of the rich boy narrative is kind of coming to a kind of critical mass.
Yeah, what staggered me is that he didn't seem prepared for it.
Right, I know.
Like you would the tax return issue is a pretty basic issue. You don't try and duck that if you're the front runner. And now we know why. And not only do if you have a vulnerability like that, the last thing you do is signal that you know you're vulnerable by not releasing it, and then doing it this crazy way.
I know, it's really interesting. You know, it's very interesting. When Paul Begala came to visit us at the Beast, you know, a couple of weeks ago, he said that the only tack that the Democrats should be plugging, in his view, in terms of the attack missile, was this narrative about 1% guy who will govern for the 1%, who will promote the 1%, and who only understands the 1%. And actually, it indeed is all playing out, and I think that Begala's right. There is no complexity to the argument against Romney. That's what the argument has to be.
Accepted as an argument that Obama will not make. Because he doesn't
want to be the class warfare guy?
He doesn't want to be the divider. But you know, one thing that's occurred to me, and that we're all learning that it really is new this time, and every election cycle there's something new. Last time it was the internet and small contributions propelling Obama. This time it's super PACs. Now what super PACs we're discovering do is propaganda. These aren't even political ads.
Sure.
They are, like, I've sat down and watched the Bain 30-minute ad, which Gingrich bought, and there are errors in it, and I think it needs to be corrected in certain parts. There are other parts of it that are true, but the whole thing, you can tell, is propaganda. It's designed to make you hate this guy, and you can't not watch it and be emotionally. So that's the difference between advertisement, journalism, and propaganda. And we don't know.
And what is also interesting, don't you think, is that when they're called out by the kind of PolitiFact kind of machinery, they don't really care either. There's this is also new, is the non-embarrassment about falsity. Because as you say, I guess because the super PACs almost say, we're not even morally obliged to be factual.
Yes, and the candidates say, oh, that ain't mine. That's not mine. I have nothing to do with that.
Yeah,
but here's what, you could have a black man and a Mormon running for the presidency of the United States. Now, the founders would have had a heart attack. But what it also means...
Well, that's good, right?
It is good. It's great. But I love all these people on the Tea Party, you know, promoting a Mormon for the presidency and invoking 1776. They have any idea how persecuted these people were in this country for so long? They were chased. They were... but here's what and you also have class. Now, if you want 3 subjects for emotive propaganda that could change the selection overnight, paid for by people with millions of dollars just arriving suddenly in swing states with blanket propaganda, you do it on race, you do it on class, and you do it on Mormonism. And you can produce some propaganda ads. I mean, McCain never played the race card hard against this guy last time. In fact, he refused. Palin was desperate to play it. McCain said no. This time, who's going to stop Mr. Joe Schmo with $1 billion from just doing the food stamp president, Jeremiah Wright, every single code
You're
word?
absolutely right. It's an extraordinarily scary thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, come and join this.
You can weigh in on the Megyn Kelly reaction.
Tell us about, what are you thinking about Megyn Kelly's, like, jihad against Andrew?
I think it's pretty ridiculous that the thing that galls me is the blurring out of your name on the
that was a little weird
on the program.
They blurred out Andrew's byline?
They showed the cover, and then
all of it was clear, but this was yeah.
You're a non-person.
It's interesting because someone actually had to do that. You know, a producer had to actually ask like a graphics employee, "How can you blur out Andrew's name?" So I don't know. That I would love to be a fly on the wall for how the editorial decision is made.
I think there are two options from what I've heard, and one is simply they wanted to make it look as if Newsweek was saying this, because the first line from the far right was Newsweek's a liberals mag running this crap, saying Republicans are dumb. Then when they actually read the article, which is something to the good of them, before they actually, no, it's fine. It's great. I mean, it works in getting people to read it. And the other thing is, so they were trying to smear Newsweek. Or secondly, I'm a non-person, and there are non-persons in that universe. I mean, I've never been invited on Fox since I told Sean Hannity in the commercial break I thought what he just said was outright bigotry, and that if he carried on that way, I wasn't going to stay, because he said that. I remember he said 10 years ago, homosexuals produce nothing for society. To my face. And and I didn't do anything on air, but after I said, "Did you really just say that to me?" And from that moment, I've never appeared on Fox.
You became a non-person.
Right.
I mean, what are you feeling about Perry now dropping out and endorsing Gingrich?
I don't know. I sort of see momentum, coalescing around Romney. If he's able to win in South Carolina, I don't see how anybody else makes a credible case that they should be the
I don't think
nominee.
he will. I think it's going to be an upset. You think it's going to be an upset?
Look, we want upsets for our own purposes, but
I have a question for you. I mean, the cover line is "Why are Obama's critics so dumb?" Do you think they haven't really, they've been flailing away at him during these debates, but if they're actually debating him, Obama, on stage, do you think one of these guys could sharpen up if they actually get to address him personally, or do you think Obama is going to be, how good is Obama defending himself?
That Obama is an affirmative action empty suit who can't speak a sentence or have a thought without a teleprompter. That's what they think. Really, you get into the mind, and of course my view is because he's a black man that succeeded. Therefore there must be something here, even though he's the most meritocratic from kid on food stamps.
Well, listen, this is so great. This debate is going to rage on for the rest of the week. So thanks, Nick, for dropping by.
Sure.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Andrew.
I could go on forever.
Fantastic.
It's great.